Hello, hello. Right now we're looking at Algebra 1, Week 2, and this would be Day 8. I would consider this notes because I haven't gotten a chance to go over with this, you guys, in person. So we're looking at this, and this is a little different than the Edpuzzle video because we're not talking about shading up or down. We're taking this from the top and we're graphing it all ourselves. So this is the equation we're working on. So first thing you do have to do is identify the slope. And I put these into your screens to coach you. Remember, when you write slope, you're best to write it as a fraction, so 3 over 1. And then the y-intercept would be at 4. This would be a good time to think about the dash to the solid, because sometimes later you're like totally into the problem and forget about that. So just take a look. Does Fred have a mustache? Does it say equal to here? And I would argue that it does not. So that means that we got ourselves a dashed line. So I'm going to just tell myself that right now to get ready. And we're going to graph it. So start by graphing the y-intercept at 4. And then do a slope of 3. Now, fortunately, if I try to go up 3 and over 1, it goes right off the page. You can mark it there. But this is a great time to talk about that 3 over 1 is actually the same as negative 3 over negative 1, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so these are the same. If you get stuck, so you'll go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and you go back 1, and you're still getting a positive slope. So down 3, back 1, down 3, back 1. I guess I should say left 1. And then I look over here and I'm like, oh, right, dashed line. Awesome. So glad I thought about it. And I'm going to make it red so it stands out and play connect the dots. One thing I haven't pushed really hard is the idea that these lines really do go on forever. So putting arrowheads on the ends would be awesome. Okay, so that's the first phase. And in the past, that's as far as you would have needed to go, is just graph that. But now we have to figure out, am I graphing? And I like to do this in class, so even though you guys aren't here to shout back at me, we're trying to figure out if we're going to shade on region A or on region B. And the way we do that is we test a point. And in general, unless the line is going right through 0, 0, I use 0, 0 as my test point, because it's the easiest one to plug in. It's the fastest. So on every single problem, I've written test point 0, 0. One, I don't have to think very hard because I just put a 0 where the y is and a 0 where the x is, and I just go for it. So 0 is greater than 3. Remember, a letter up against a number is the math lazy way to say times. So 3 times 0 plus 4. The 0 is going to hang out to see what happens. 0 is greater than, and 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4. All right. And then last but not least, 0 is greater than 4. So then you ask yourself, is that true? Is 0 greater than 4? So we just built ourselves a true-false question. If it's true, then we shade where 0, 0 is, and if it's not, we avoid 0, 0. And at this point, I almost said like the plague, but these days we don't make jokes about the plague. So is 0 greater than 4? No, it's not. So that means that this isn't actually true. And sometimes I like to do is just put a slash through it to show myself that it didn't work. So wherever our test point is, which in this case is right here, that's the side you don't want. So you actually want region A. So we're going to say, I want this side. And then you're going to take out your highlighter and color that side of the graph. And because I'm slightly impatient, I'm going to make this the biggest highlighter I possibly can. All right, and you already have the dotted line, so you're saying that answers on the dotted line still don't work. It has to be this side. And because it takes a long time to do these, they're worth more points. So the more of these you get through accurately, they have to be right, the more points you get. So there are 3 more of these, and that is the end of the first video.